When one is asked to listen to the Venezuelans, the question is which group? The other point that I want to get to is this argument of Venezuelans, they're the ones who are allowed to speak, the rest of us should sit down. That is appropriate in a sense where we want to talk about Venezuelans deciding for themselves. But again, Venezuelans are not a monolith. They're diverse. There are people who still support Maduro. There are people who don't support Maduro. There are people who don't support Maduro, but they do not want the Americans. There are people who are more worried now than they were before. There are people who will be suffering now more than they're suffering before. So when one is asked to listen to the Venezuelans, the question is which group? Indigenous, Afro, white, descendants of colonialists? Which group are we talking to? We should be talking to everybody. And that's the diversity of the Venezuelan people, regardless of whether you agree with them or you disagree with them. Which then leads me to two other points that I think are really important. One is, we do have, as experts in this field, we do have the right to talk about it. Why? Because we've seen this happen in different parts of the world. Why do we need to look at it? Because we see tendencies. We understand tendencies. We do scientific research about this. We understand the consequences of such behavior. 3, related to this point, I've seen comments about how Venezuela is not the Middle East. Venezuelan people are not divided like the Middle East. Venezuelans know how to transition and are not that violent. Venezuelans are divided along different lines. And talking about another part of the world in a way that they can't do this, it's their failure. That's why it didn't work. Iraq didn't work because it's their failure. Syria didn't work because it's their failure. I think we have to be very careful about how we talk about this. And you want to study it from a sociological perspective, then study the totality of it, not certain parts of it. And maybe, perhaps, study it in a way that is not Western-centric. Third, I'll make this one quick. There is an impact on the international system, a continuous impact on the international system. We saw this with what was happening with Gaza and Israel, Palestine in general, West Bank, Gaza. Ukraine, same issue. Taiwan, Hong Kong, other parts of the world, same issues. They set precedents at the international level for good or for bad, but they do. So we have to think about those. We have to talk about those.